Could you have savings, pensions, investments, or premium bonds that you've forgotten about and can't for the life of you find the paperwork to check? You're not alone. There's between £15 billion and £50 billion of unclaimed assets in the UK, depending on what you read. But the good news is there are a number of ways to find lost money and they are all free. Firstly, let's talk about lost current and savings accounts that are now dormant. So, a bank account is considered dormant if it's not been used, but different providers will have different rules about when it considers an account to be inactive. So, for example, HSBC will freeze an inactive account if no transactions have been made to or from the account in 12 months, if there's still money in it, or if there's not, it will just close it. But 12 months is the key for HSBC. Whereas NatWest says an account is seen as dormant if it's not been used in 5 years. So that's a really big difference with different providers. Now, if you have an idea of where the money is held, it's a good idea to contact the provider directly. But if you think you've got a dormant current or savings account and can't remember the provider, you can track it down using My Lost Account. So this is a free service. It's run by UK Finance, the banking trade body, the Building Societies Association, and National Savings and Investments, or NSNI. It covers 30 banks, 42 building societies, and the full range of NSNI accounts, including the old post office savings bank accounts. You'll need to set up a profile with an email address and password. You'll then be asked to verify your email address and complete the search form. You'll then be asked a few questions, including whether the account was in your name, your date of birth, your current contact address, and previous addresses. And then you'll receive a response in 90 days by email. Now, the important thing to think about here is with My Lost Account, you can only use it or it only works when an account has been declared dormant. So if you don't get positive results now, you can try again in a few years. It's not ideal, but that is what we have to work with this service. Moving on to pensions. If you've had several jobs, you've probably got a few workplace pensions, some of which you might have forgotten about. And you might have lost touch with personal pensions too. So, most pension providers send you a statement each year, but if you've stopped getting them, you can contact the provider. Or if it's a workplace pension and you can't remember the provider's name and you've left your job, speak to your former employers. They can give you the information about your old plans, and the more detail you have, the better. Overall, it's good to know the name of your previous employer or the pension service, any previous names the business had, the type of business you used to work for, and when you belonged to the pension scheme. At the very least, you'll need the name of your pension provider and the employer if you're trying to find the workplace pension to use the government's pension tracing service, which you can use to track down personal pensions too. It's also a good idea to know the dates you worked for your employer if you are looking for your workplace pensions. So the pension tracing service will then look through its database of 300,000 pensions to try and find you the contact details of the pension company. It will only tell you the contact details, and then you will need to get in touch with the provider to find out whether you have a pension anyway, how much it's worth, and what you might want to do next. Now, I also want to talk about lost child trust funds. So, these are long term tax free savings accounts, and they were set up for every child born between the 1st of September 2002 and the 2nd of January 2011. And for every child, the government deposited £250. So, child trust funds work a bit like junior ISAs. They can be managed by the child when they turn 16, and then at 18, they have full control over it. However, 18 years is a really long time for any account, and many parents might have moved house, got caught up in big life changes, or just forgotten about the accounts in the first place. But the main reason these seem to be lost is for many people, HMRC set up the accounts automatically with providers when the parents or the guardians didn't do it. So they might not even be aware of the existence in the first place. So the government reckons there are over 670,000 child trust funds that are unclaimed by young account holders between the ages of 18 and 22. And the government believes the average sum in one of these accounts is £2,212. So that's a lot of money for anyone to just discover and would be really useful for the young people who it belongs to. So, how would you find a lost child trust fund? So, if you or a young person you know thinks that they have a child trust fund and has an idea of the provider, you can go to the provider directly. But if you're not sure, there is an online tool on the government website that you can use to find out who the provider is. You will need the date of birth of the young person and their national insurance number. Now, just quickly on forgotten investments, you can try the Investment Association's Unclaimed Assets portal to track down investments and forgotten shares, or contact the Association of Investment Companies, or the AIC, for help finding investment trusts. You can also use a company called Gretel. So, Gretel is an online platform that allows you to track down multiple accounts in one go. So, that's bank accounts, pensions, investments, life insurance policies, or child trust funds. It will search for all of them. So, yeah, it's your one stop shop basically. You sign up online with your name and address for free. It then does a live check with results in 3 minutes and then does further checks every 2 weeks. Now, the way it works is it does a soft search on your credit report, which won't affect your score. It does this to confirm your identity and match you with your previous addresses that you might have used in the past to set up these old accounts. It doesn't work with every financial institution, so you might not get a match straight away, but it says it is always working to add more. As I said, it's free for you, and Gretel says it's because the financial institutions are actually the ones paying for this service because they want to make it easier for customers to find their money. Make of that what you will. I did try Gretel recently, and I'm sorry to say that it didn't come up with any lost money for me. But the reason I tried it is because I saw someone post online that they had given it a go and they had found some lost cash from a children's bank account that they completely forgotten about 30 years before. Another way to check if you've got old premium bonds is by using the My Lost Account service, which I spoke about already, or by going directly to NS&I. So they have a Lost Touch with NS&I section on the website, which helps you track down old NS&I investments and other accounts. And then once you've found your old premium bonds, you can check if you've got any unclaimed prizes by either logging into your account and checking your prize history, or using NS&I's online prize checker, or it's even got prize checker apps, which you can get on the App Store or Google Play. And the good news is there is no time limit to claiming your winnings. So you can check it at any time and get the money that belongs to you. Now, finally, I just want to quickly talk about gift cards. So it's slightly different to what I've gone through already, but every year, millions of pounds are lost because people forget about gift cards and then they expire. It's so easy to do. You can misplace the physical ones around your house, down the back of the sofa, in cupboards, and just completely forget about them. But it's just as easy to lose the digital ones in your inbox as well. So if you suddenly remember you've got a gift card or voucher, but you can't find it, contact the provider to let them know. They may tell you tough luck. For example, River Island tells customers to treat gift cards like cash. So that means it can't replace or reimburse the balance if they're lost, damaged, or stolen. However, some retailers or third party sellers might be able to sort you out with a replacement depending on their terms and conditions. They may need to verify the purchase, and that means if it was a present, you might need to get some evidence from the person who bought it for you. If you do find the gift card and you find it's expired or it's about to expire, it's definitely worth speaking to the retailer or provider also to find out if there's anything that they can do for you. They're not obliged to, but they might extend it out of goodwill or for a fee. And that's it. Let us know if you managed to track down any lost savings, pensions, investments, insurance policies, or any other money that you're trying to find, either in the comments or on the Be Clever with Your Cash Facebook page. Thanks for watching. Check out these videos here for more ways to make the most of your money.